Well, this is different. Don't worry, this Friday you'll get to see more of this and why I did it, but today I'm yapping. This is my Bambu A1 Mini, and I made a video about it, I think it was last Monday. Today I want to talk about why I think that this is better than the P1S in a lot of ways. If you're unaware, this is the Bambu Lab P1S. It's basically just a big box where the bed moves up and down instead of forward and backward like the A1 Mini does. And I'm gonna get right into it. Problem number one, this guy is very loud. It's so loud that if I have a print going and I need to go to bed or I need to focus on something, I just pause the print, not even switching to silent mode on the settings. That doesn't even make it any quieter. Whereas this thing, even printing at full speed, is barely noticeable in my bedroom over there. And even in here while I'm recording, you can barely hear it. Like all you can really hear is the fan. And that's because it has active motor noise cancellation. It'll do a quick little calibration once you take it out of the box, and it'll just cancel out the noise of the motors. So all the those are all quieter. That, and it's also a bed slinger. And I found that bed slingers, yes, even Klong the counter printer, they're usually just quieter in general, but this is also equipped with that noise cancellation. So both of those things together make this thing so much quieter than the P1S. Reason number two is the flow rate calibration that it can do. Flow rate is basically how fast or how slow the filament flows out of the nozzle, and that affects many factors like how the top surface looks, how the bottom surface looks, how strong the print ends up being, how dimensionally accurate it is. So basically, if the flow rate calibration or the flow rate is off, your print may not end up as you expected. Things could go together too easily or not easily enough. And the P1S, if flow rate gets off, you're going to find out as it's printing, whereas this thing can do a flow rate calibration before every print automatically. Even while printing, it can actively monitor that stuff. I've personally found that it works pretty well. Models that come off of the A1 Mini look fantastic. The third reason, and this is also a pretty big one, printing PLA on the A1 Mini usually yields a better print than printing it in an enclosed Core XY printer like the P1S. Getting all up close and personal, you may notice that this is an open frame printer. And PLA, the most popular plastic in 3D printing, it loves cooling. And in an enclosed Core XY printer, which is designed to retain heat, it can get a little warm in there, and PLA prints can end up looking not that great, or they can end up being weak, or they could also just fail mid-print too. Usually I don't find that to be a problem because the P1S is equipped with chamber fans and an auxiliary fan, which is basically just a fan that's constantly blowing air at the current layer that's being printed. And that usually combats the fact that PLA doesn't like warmth. But the A1 Mini needs none of that, and I find that anything that comes off of the A1 Mini's build plate printed in PLA usually ends up looking slightly better than prints that come off of a P1S build plate. Now the fourth reason, AMS Lite. This is the original AMS, or the regular AMS, and this is what works with the P1S as well as the X1 Carbon. The original AMS sucks. I hate it so much. For one, it's loud, so every time the filament moves or when it's changing filaments for multicolor prints, it just makes this awful grinding noise that I hate hearing. And again, it's one of the reasons if I have a multi-day print and it's multicolor, I just pause the print when I need to go to bed because otherwise I will not sleep. The A1 and the A1 Mini, on the other hand, are compatible with the AMS Lite, which is this sort of freestanding AMS type thing, and it's got most of the same features that the regular AMS has. That being, it can hold filament, it can read RFID tags, and it can send filament to your printer. That's all it needs to do. It doesn't have the filament like odometry thing where you can see like how much filament you have left in Bambu Studio or Bambu Handy, but you don't really need that anyway. But the big reason why I brought this up is because it is silent. Unlike the original AMS over there, this just kind of has spools hanging there, and it has some sort of like retraction thing. You know, like when you have a measuring tape and you bring it out and it goes back. It's that same kind of concept except for these. While the original AMS drives spools with motors, and that's what makes the awful like noise as it's changing filament. The AMS Lite, all you can hear is just a subtle whirring of the motor that puts the filament into the printer. It's much quieter, and it's kind of funny how it's freestanding and the spools just kind of hang off it, and you have this mess of PTFE tube going straight to the printer. So funny, right? And the fifth and final thing that the A1 Mini has over the P1S is swapping hot ends. Swapping hot ends on the P1S is such a chore because you have to disassemble pretty much the entire tool head just to get to it. You have to take out a bunch of screws, and if you don't get the complete hot end assembly, you have to change thermal paste, and it's just this mess. Whereas with the A1 Mini, it's as simple as, I'm not going to demonstrate it because it's doing stuff obviously, but you just pop off the tool head cover, and then you take out a little retaining clip, and then you put a new one in, and Bob's your uncle. Now, it's not a huge thing, especially if you only plan on printing with one nozzle, but it is something that the A1 Mini has over the P1S. Now wait just a minute, I don't want to rag on the P1S this whole video. So what are some things that the P1S has over the A1 Mini? Well, you may not be able to tell immediately because I don't have them side by side, but the P1S is much larger. I actually can demonstrate it to you. Here's the P1S's build plate, and here's the A1 Mini's build plate. You can see here, significantly bigger. But another thing that the P1S has over the A1 Mini, and this one isn't debatable really, is precision. Core XY printers are just known to be more precise. Now yes, the A1 and A1 Mini are very precise for being bed slingers, but this one just has a more precise motion system to start with instead of making use of a worse motion system. The third thing that the P1S has over the A1 Mini, speed. Yes, Bambu does advertise both of the printers to print at 500 millimeters a second. This has 20,000 millimeter per second squared acceleration speeds, while the A1 Mini over there only has 10,000. But that's just acceleration, and at those numbers, print times usually don't change between printers unless it's like a multi-day print. Now the fourth and the biggest thing that the P1S has over both the A1 Mini and the A1, it's enclosed. Now wait, hold on. Didn't I just say that the A1 Mini not having an enclosure was a pro? Yes, if you're printing PLA. But if you're printing something like PETG or TPU or PET or ABS or ASA, if you're weird like that, polycarbonate, like there's so many filaments that need to be printed with an enclosure in order to have the best results. Yes, the A1 Mini can get away with TPU and PETG and even some other ones if you don't care about what you're breathing. But having an enclosure just makes them print better. Just because the A1 Mini can do it doesn't mean that an enclosed printer can't do it better. So yes, the P1S does have its upsides, and that's why I have a P1S. If I didn't need any of those things, or if the P1S just sucked in general, nobody would have one. Everybody would just buy something else. And just because the A1 Mini is quieter, about as fast, cheaper, it doesn't mean that plonkier machines don't have their place in the world. So yeah, after I do my big studio overhaul, honestly, for the occasional prints that I usually do with my printers, the A1 Mini is probably going to get all of them. But if something's big, if something needs to be printed with a different material, or if I just feel like putting some more miles on my P1S, having an enclosed Core XY printer is great. Now obviously, if you can afford it, you could spring for the X1 Carbon, which is like all the smarts of the A1 and A1 Mini combined with the Core XY bronze of the P1S.
So instead of buying a P1S and an A1 Mini, couldn't you just buy the X1 Carbon and have both of them in a single printer?
Well, yeah, but I don't because I want two printers. Having two machines that I can send stuff to and have both doing stuff at the same time, it makes projects fly by a lot faster. So if you can afford to have a fleet of X1 Carbons, great. Those are probably awesome. I can't tell you because I don't have one. But if you're trying to choose between two printers as a beginner, think about your needs, think about what you want to do, think about the future a little bit. Do you want to try other materials? Like not even PETG or TPU, which can be printed on this guy right here, but like polycarbonate, nylon, ABS, ASA, even polypropylene. I really want to try polypropylene. Then you might want to invest in an enclosed printer to start with, and then maybe get something like this later down the line, kind of like I did. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you today. If you like the video, then you should leave a like. If you want to see more from me, which I know you do, subscribe, turn on notifications so that you don't miss an upload. I post weekly videos every single Friday, and Mondays are kind of becoming the norm for me too, but don't rely on it. Mondays are just kind of like a so-so day. So yeah, back to regularly scheduled antics on Friday. You get to see my new studio up there, and yeah, that's really about it. Bye.